Welcome to Young Patriots.
Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the 37-year-old lion of Burkina Faso, has just dropped a bombshell that's ripping through the continent like wildfire. Visa-free entry for every single African. No more begging at embassy gates. No more shelling out hundreds of dollars to visit your own brothers and sisters on your own soil. Just an online application, a quick review, and you're in. Welcome to Burkina Faso, where Africa is for Africans, full stop. From now on, any citizen from an African country wishing to go to Burkina Faso will not pay any amount to cover visa fees, declared Security Minister Mahamadou Sana, straight from a cabinet meeting chaired by Traoré himself on Thursday. This isn't just policy, it's to centuries of colonial borders and a love letter to 1.4 billion Africans. While Donald Trump's America slams the door on us with harsher penalties, steeper fees, and bans branding us risks, Traoré's flinging open the gates, shouting, "This is your home, come build it." It's a seismic shockwave, a slap to the West's face, and a wake-up call to do-nothing dinosaurs like ECOWAS and the African Union, AU, who've been promising free movement for decades while we're still shackled by their inertia. Traoré, in just 3 years, has done what they couldn't in half a century. This is Pan-Africanism reborn, raw, unfiltered, and ferocious. Traoré, a young soldier who seized power in a 2022 coup, is channeling Thomas Sankara's ghost, Kwame Nkrumah's vision, and Patrice Lumumba's fire. Burkina Faso now joins Rwanda, Kenya, and Ghana in easing travel for Africans, but Traoré's doing it with a swagger that's got the continent buzzing and corrupt leaders sweating bullets. This free visa system for African nationals will promote tourism, Burkinabe culture, and improve Burkina Faso's visibility abroad, the junta's information service declared late Thursday. Picture this: Nigerians landing in Ouagadougou to trade gold, no visa hassle. Ghanaians vibing at the Fesparco Film Festival, no red tape. South Africans weaving through Bobo Dioulaso's vibrant markets, no bureaucratic nonsense. This isn't just about travel, it's about trade, culture, love. Reknitting the bonds colonial powers shredded at the Berlin Conference of 1885. Traoré's screaming, "Africa's ours again," and it's a seismic jolt, a declaration of war on division, a blueprint for a united Africa that's got the West trembling, and African elites clutching their pearls in panic. Let's get real. How do you explain this insanity? Africans on our own continent jumping through flaming hoops for visas to visit our own kin, while Europeans and Americans stroll in with a smile and a stamp on arrival. It's a scandal. World Bank and AU studies lay it bare. Intra-African travel is a nightmare of denials, delays and fees, with Africans facing higher visa rejection rates for African countries than Westerners do. A Kenyan trader shells out $100 to enter Abidjan, while a Brit pays nothing. A Nigerian student waits months for a Ghanaian visa, while a Canadian backpacker gets one at the airport. And don't even start on telecoms, that other colonial shackle. Calling the US from Abuja is pennies. Dialing Dakar, you're broke before you say hello. It's deliberate, a design to keep us strangers, to keep us weak. The Berlin Conference didn't just carve up maps. It carved up our ability to connect, to trade, to dream together. Traoré's visa move is dynamite to those walls. A call to roam free, trade free, love free. Africa's true potential is buried in the freedom of movement for Africans across Africa. One ex-user nailed it. Traoré's unlocking that potential. And it's a game changer. This didn't come out of nowhere. Traoré's been on a tear since he stormed into power in September 2022. A bloodless coup that felt like Burkina Faso finally exhaling after decades of suffocation. 3 years, just 3. And he's rewriting the rulebook. No bowing to Western powers, no grovelling for IMF loans with strings thicker than ship ropes. He saw France for what it was, the puppeteer pulling Burkina's strings since independence in 1960. France-Afrique wasn't partnership, it was a leash. French troops under Operation Barkhane lounged in bases while jihadists ran rampant, controlling 40% of Burkina's territory by 2022. What were they helping? Traoré demanded, his voice cutting like a machete. They come as saviours but leave us enslaved. By February 2023, he'd kicked out every last French soldier, ended Total Energy's shady oil contracts, and started dismantling the CFA francs chokehold, that currency that's basically a French veto on African economies. When the West refused to sell weapons, sneering, "These Africans will just kill each other," Traoré didn't flinch. He turned to Russia, securing drones, tanks and training. Now, Burkina's army, 50,000 strong, is reclaiming villages, training local militias and tackling terror head-on. It's not perfect, no overnight miracles, but it's progress driven by sovereignty, not submission. But Traoré's not just fighting on battlefields, he's reclaiming Burkina's soul, French, that colonial tongue force-fed in schools and courts. Out the door, Mouré, Dioula, Fulfulde, local languages, are now the heartbeat of classrooms. Judges swapped powdered wigs for Faso-Dan fanny robes, that tough, home-woven cotton that screams pride. "We wear our history, not theirs," he declared in 2024, and the crowds roared. He's built a $12 million tomato processing plant, 100% locally funded, turning crops we used to ship raw to Europe into wealth at home. A gold refinery now processes 142 tons of mine waste into 93 kilograms of pure gold for state coffers. Air Burkina's back in the skies with a new Embraer jet, no foreign loans attached. Traoré rides a motorcycle through Ouagadougou's bustling markets, chatting with aunties selling yams, living simple, Thomas Sankara's heir in flesh and blood. When France and Western media cried dictator in 2024, over 200,000 Burkinabe flooded the streets, brooms in hand, symbolically sweeping out French dirt. X exploded. Traoré's fulfilling Nkrumah's dream, visa-free for 53 nations, welcome home. That's love, raw, organic, unshakable. This visa-free move, it's a grenade lobbed straight at the West divide and rule playbook. For centuries, they've kept us apart, made us fear each other. Nigerians as scammers, Somalis as pirates, Congolese as chaotic. The Berlin Conference of 1885 didn't just draw lines. It built walls in our minds, our wallets, our wings. Visa regimes turned neighbours into strangers, forcing Africans to beg for permission to cross rivers our ancestors swam freely. A Ghanaian trader pays $150 to enter Cotonou, while a German tourist gets a visa on arrival for free. A Malawian student waits 6 months for a South African visa, while an American sails through in days. It's not just travel, it's telecoms too. Calling London from Lagos costs pennies. Calling Lilongwe, you're selling your kidney. This was their plan. Keep us isolated, unable to bond, trade or dream collectively. Traoré's visa policy blows that plan to smithereens. It says, "We're family, come home." And it's a direct challenge to the West, especially as Trump's new policies, tripled vetting, $500 fees and bans on high-risk Africans mock our dignity. Traoré's counter-move, "We don't need your gates, we've got our own." The economic ripple effects are massive. Intra-African trade, stuck at a pathetic 18% of our total trade, could soar to 50% with free movement per World Bank projections. That's $400 billion in goods flowing between us, not Europe. Tourism could add 5% to Burkina's GDP alone. Think Fespaco Film Festival drawing millions, not thousands, or Festima's Mask Carnival becoming a global draw. Nigerian investors could scout Burkina's gold mines without visa headaches. Ghanaian coders could collaborate with Burkinabe farmers on drought-resistant crops. No bureaucratic barriers. South African miners could explore Sahel opportunities, no red tape. And security, unity is jihadists' kryptonite. Divided, we're prey. Together, we're a fortress. Traoré's betting on connection, not isolation, to starve terror and build resilience. Let's talk about the elephants in the room. ECOWAS and the AU. These giants, born in 1975 and 2002, have been promising free movement since the Lagos Plan of Action in 1980. Agenda 2063, the AU's grand vision, lists free movement as Pillar 1. Yet 45 years later, we're drowning in paperwork. ECOWAS 1979 Protocol on Free Movement, a mirage, riddled with fees, delays and exceptions. The ECOWAS passport, hyped in 2000, a dusty dream because member states couldn't agree on implementation. The AU's 2018 push for visa liberalisation? Endless workshops, zero results. Rwanda, Kenya and Ghana have eased travel, but it's a patchwork quilt, leaving most Africans out in the cold. Traoré's leap exposes their crawl. While they sip champagne in Addis Ababa, he's acting, 3 years in, outpacing leaders who've warmed thrones for 30. ECOWAS suspended Burkina post-coup, but who's leading now? The captain, not the suits. It's embarrassing, and it should be. They've had decades. He's had 3 years. The contrast is stark, and the continent's watching. Africans are losing their minds over this, and for good reason. Is a wildfire. Finally, a great leader, from a Nigerian planning a trip to Ouaga. The 1885 Berlin Conference is ending. Africa's rising from a Zimbabwean. When France accused Traoré of destabilizing the region in 2024, over 100,000 Burkinabe marched, brooms aloft defending their leader. This isn't coerced loyalty, it's organic love. Why? Because Traoré's not just talking Pan-Africanism, he's living it. His speeches cut deep. At the 2023 Russia-Africa Summit, he thundered, "Mental colonization is the deadliest weapon. It makes us fight each other instead of our oppressors." Clips go viral, racking up millions of views. Young Africans from Dakar to Durban chant his name. He's simple, lives in a modest home, rides a moto, no motorcades. He's Sankara's heir, incorruptible, all in for the people. This visa move has corrupt leaders across Africa tossing in their beds. The old guard, Museveni, 39 years in power, still clinging to visa walls. Beya, 43 years, delivering crumbs. Even Kagame, progressive but selective, are staring at a mirror they can't unsee. Traoré, in 3 years, has outshined their decades. Jealousy is brewing in Yaoundé, Harare and beyond. Why? Because his boldness exposes their inertia. They've had lifetimes to unite us, yet borders still choke our potential. Traoré's visa-free policy isn't just a logistical win, it's a moral one. It says, serve your people, not your pockets. While they hoard power, he's sharing it, inviting all Africans to Burkina, no strings attached. That's leadership, and it's giving them nightmares. This isn't just about Burkina Faso, it's about Africa's soul. The visa-free policy is a spark, but the fire's been building. Traoré's dismantling every colonial relic. French troops, gone. CFA franc, fading. Cultural shame, replaced with pride. He's building an economy that serves Burkinabe, gold refineries, tomato plants, local airlines. But the visa move, it's the crown jewel. It's economic. Intra-African trade could unlock $400 billion, keeping wealth here, not in Paris. It's cultural. Fespaco and Festima could draw global crowds, showcasing our stories, our masks, our rhythms. It's personal. Families split by borders reunite, no visa tears. And it's strategic. Unity fights terror better than any drone. Jihadists thrive on division. Traoré's betting on connection to starve them out. What must others learn? African leaders. Ditch the West's whispers, prioritize people, tear down visa walls, not for show but for soul. A U and E, COWAS. Stop the summits, start the stamps. Operationalize Agenda 2063, fund e-visas, unify passports now. Our youth, 70% under 30, deserve wings not chains. Telecoms, slash those rates. Let us talk cheap. Trade? Let it flow like the Nile, the Volta, the Zambezi. Traoré's lit the match, fan the flame. The shackles, visas, borders, lies are crumbling. We're not existing. We're living, loving, linking arms. Let's zoom out. This visa policy is a thread in a larger tapestry. Traoré's vision isn't just Burkina's, it's Africa's. He's shown what's possible when you lead with guts, not greed. Imagine an Africa where a Nigerian can start a business in Kigali as easily as in Lagos, where a Kenyan artist collaborates with a Malian griot, no visa drama. Where South African families visit Burkina's Bamfora waterfalls, no embassy queues. This is the Africa our ancestors dreamed of. One market, one people, one destiny. Traoré's policy could push intra-African tourism to 20 million visitors annually per AU estimates, pumping billions into local economies. Trade could rival Asia's intra-regional boom, making us a superpower that doesn't beg the West for scraps. The West feels the heat. Trump's bans are a desperate attempt to keep us down, but Traoré's move, says Joel, we're building our own table. France, Britain, the US, they're watching, nervous, as Africa stirs. And at home, the old guard's rattled. Leaders who've sat for decades, delivering speeches, not solutions, see their irrelevance in Traoré's shadow. Ex-users are clear. Traoré's are Sankara. Visa-free is freedom. When smears hit, thousands defend him, not out of fear, but love. That's his fuel, and it's unstoppable. So, what's the call? Leaders, lead like Traoré. Bold, selfless, for the people. AU, ECOWAS, make free movement real, not a PowerPoint slide. Africans, pack your bags, cross those borders, trade, create, connect. The Berlin Conference is dying. Traoré's killing it with every move. The shackles, visas, fear, division are falling. We're not just surviving, we're thriving. Burkina's calling. Africa, answer it. The motherland's arms are open wide. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's visa-free bombshell for all Africans is not just a policy, it's a clarion call to reclaim our continent's soul. For Africans, this move is a game changer, a golden key unlocking a future where we can finally live as one people, unshackled by the artificial borders drawn by colonial powers. Expect a surge in connection, families reuniting across borders without the humiliation of visa queues, Nigerian entrepreneurs scouting gold mines in Ouagadougou with ease, Kenyan artists collaborating with Burkinabe griots at Fespaco, no red tape in sight. This policy could spark a tourism boom, potentially adding 5% to Burkina Faso's GDP, as millions visit its vibrant festivals and markets, per AU estimates. Intra-African trade, currently a measly 18%, could soar to 50%, unlocking $400 billion in wealth that stays on our soil, not Europe's. Imagine Ghanaian coders partnering with Burkinabe farmers on drought-resistant crops, or South African miners exploring Sahel opportunities, all without bureaucratic barriers. This is the Africa our ancestors dreamed of. One market, one heartbeat. Africans can expect more than economics. This is about identity. Traoré's move invites us to rediscover each other, to replace colonial suspicion, Nigerians as scammers, Somalis as pirates, with solidarity. It's a chance to weave our stories, from Dakar's rhythms to Addis Ababa's spices, into a tapestry of pride. Security benefits too. Unity is jihadists' kryptonite, as divided communities are easy prey, but connected ones are a fortress. Expect safer borders as trust grows, with local militias and cross-border ties starving out terror. For the everyday African, this means freedom. Freedom to move, trade, love and dream without begging permission on your own land. Traoré's policy is a spark. It's up to us to fan it into a flame. Pack your bags, visit your kin, start that business in Kigali or Ouaga. Africa's open for you. Other African leaders must follow this path, not out of envy but necessity. Traoré, in just 3 years, has outshined leaders who've ruled for decades, exposing their inertia. While they deliver speeches at AU summits, he's acting, tearing down visa walls, proving leadership isn't about longevity but courage. Museveni, Biya and others clinging to power for 30-40 years have no excuse. Their failure to ease travel has choked our potential, keeping intra-African trade stagnant and families apart. Rwanda and Kenya have eased visas, but it's patchwork. Traoré's blanket welcome to 1.4 billion Africans sets the bar. Leaders must emulate his boldness. Ditch colonial relics like restrictive visas, prioritize people over Western approval, and fund digital borders. E-visas, unified passports, now. ECOWAS's 1979 Free Movement Protocol and the AU's Agenda 2063 are dust-covered dreams. Traoré's shown they can be reality. Follow him, or be left behind as the continent moves on. The West, they're trembling. The Berlin Conference of 1885 sliced Africa into fragments, and their visa regimes kept us strangers, easier for a German to enter Nairobi than a Ghanaian. Trump's 2025 bans, with $500 fees and high-risk labels, are just the latest chapter in this divide and rule saga. Traoré's move is a direct hit, a defiant, "we don't need your gates." It exposes their hypocrisy. While they block Africans, we're building our own table. France, Britain, the US, they see their grip slipping as Africa reconnects, trades and rises without their permission. This policy isn't just about travel. It's a declaration that their mental colonization, pitting us against each other, is over. They're nervous, and they should be. Africa's youth, 70% under 30, are watching Traoré, not Paris. Africans expect a revolution. Economic, cultural, spiritual leaders follow Traoré's lead. Act bold, act now for the people. The West's reign is crumbling. Our shackles, visas, fear, division are falling. Traoré's lit the fire. Let's make it a blaze. Africa's not just waking, it's roaring. Answer the call.
The heartbeat of
Thank you for
African
standing with
resistance.
us,
We bring you
for
raw,
standing with the
unfiltered
truth,
updates
and
on
for
Ibrahim
standing with
Traoré,
President Ibrahim
President of
Traoré.
Burkina Faso,
In these trying
the man
times,
challenging
your
the global
voice is
system.
powerful.
If you
Don't
believe in
just watch,
truth,
be part
power,
of the
and
movement.
a rising Africa,
Subscribe to stay
this is your
updated.
home.
Share to
Subscribe
awaken
now.
others,
Stand
and
tall.
head to the comment
Stay
section.
woke.
Tell us
Young
how you feel,
patriots,
what
where
you
revolution
believe,
lives.
and what Africa means to you. Together we are louder. Together we are stronger. This is Young Patriots TV, and you are the heartbeat of the mission. Thank you.